Hey everyone, welcome to another foiled series episode. Today we're going through another foiled deck. It's been a while since I posted a video showing off a foiled deck, so this is going to be interesting. It's been a while. I'm changing up the format again, showing all the cards in one shot, and I'm going to show you each card bundle as I go along. So, this was Temur Hatching Delver. I deck teched this deck maybe last summer, 2020. And I enjoyed the deck, but I didn't quite get it just right. And it's a deck I want to revisit again this year, maybe again in the summertime. Maybe it's a good time to play a deck like this, because it's very glass cannon-y. And let me show you the core of the deck here. So it all really revolves around hatching plans and these two cards, Perilous Research and Crack the Earth. Now, if you want to see the actual deck tech, I'll post the link in the description of this video so you can take a look at that. But right now, this type of video is mostly here to take a look at the foils and check out the foiling process. This is the foiled series. Every Wednesday I put out another foiled video where we look at foiled cards in different ways. We analyze them. The foiling on this is pretty good. This is an older card, and as you can see, no curling. No curling whatsoever. So Hatching Plans, this is a pretty cool card. This is an enchantment, 2 mana. When Hatching Plans is put into your graveyard from play, draw 3 cards. Simple as that. You just draw 3 cards. Surprisingly enough, it was actually pretty hard for me to find a full foil playset of Hatching Plans. I had to really look far and wide for a playset of these in foil. It's just not a card that was kept. Sure was thrown into the bins, the garbage bins, for many, many years. Up next, Perilous Research. So draw 2 cards and sacrifice a permanent. So, oh no, what permanent are you going to sacrifice? Well, ideally, you're sacrificing Hatching Plans. Because if you're sacrificing Hatching Plans, well, that's 5 cards. So you're living the dream. That's basically the idea here. Is finding ways to sack Hatching Plans and drawing those 3 cards. It's very cute. It's a very cute deck. And anytime I say cute, it means not quite sure it's really there in any competitive sense, but it's definitely there in a fun sense. So let's take a look at Perilous Research here. The foiling on Perilous Research. I just need to make a comment here. The foils from this era in particular, I believe this was Cold Snap. Yeah, I believe it was Cold Snap. The foiling, in particular on blues, oh man, it's really, the video does not do it justice. The foiling is just so good, so good. I really want to bring this back. I have a playset of foil Commandeers, which were from the same set as Perilous Research. The foiling on that is just spectacular. Spectacular. I wish all blue foils look like Commandeer. Alright, the other central piece. Each player sacrifices a permanent. Believe it or not, you don't always need Hatching Plans on the battlefield for this to be the target, essentially, of it. This deck also generates quite a few tokens, so you could always sacrifice a token that you don't care about and then force your opponent to sacrifice something on their end that they probably do care about. So Crack the Earth is kind of hilarious in that way. And it's an arcane spell on top of it. Not that we're doing anything with that in this deck. Foiling though, pretty cool. Pretty cool. Pretty good foiling. Also not curling. Just make a note of that. Another old foil that has not curled at any point. I didn't do any corrective uncurling on these foils. So that was it for the central pieces. This is a Delver deck, so let's move on to the creatures here. Of course, if I can build a Delver deck, I will. I think my name is kind of a giveaway to the kind of decks that I like to play. So Delver Secrets, we've seen this foil before. Many, many times, of course. Also not bad foiling from the Innistrad era. Pretty nice foiling here. A little bit of selective foiling as well, which is a nice touch. It's almost as if they knew that it was the best card in the set, and one of the best cards in Magic. Delver of Secrets. I am so happy this card exists. So happy. Let's take a look at another creature here that we're playing 4 of. Hexdrinker. You know, Hexdrinker was just... I don't know. Maybe if these were just -1 on each, so it was 2 to 6, and this was 7+, Hexdrinker I think would have probably exploded in Modern. It still sees some fringe play, especially for me, who actually doesn't mind playing Hexdrinker in the right deck. In a deck like this where you're drawing a lot, you probably will have quite a bit of lands. The foiling on this though, I really like the foiling on this Hexdrinker. See how it foils there, you don't have any foiling around the body. Really nice choice of foiling on this. I really like that. Very nice choice of foiling. I just wish I played with it more. At the end of the day, I'm probably going to pick Tarmogoyf over Hexdrinker. Surprisingly, no Tarmogoyf in this deck. And maybe that was a mistake. Maybe Tarmogoyf should have been there. The main issue I had with this deck, which is why I put Hexdrinker, is just a lack of 1-drops. Just a lack of one-turn aggressive plays. Which is why I swapped Tarmogoyf for Hexdrinker. Dreadhorde Arcanist is a 3 of that we're playing. A nice way to get a spell from your graveyard cast. It's a 1/3 though, so we're not utilizing Dreadhorde Arcanist like we should. Ideally boosting it up in power and toughness so it survives attacks more easily. So you can kind of reuse it. But it's a nice way to recast, you know, Crack the Earth or Perilous Research. Or basically anything, Lightning Bolt. Whatever you need to kind of finish off your opponent. Actually does make for some interesting attack plans. Foiling on it is fine, it's for more of the spark. A nice card to get from more of the spark. Sees legacy play. I think it sees more legacy play than modern play, that's for sure. It's just an interesting note. Up next, Young Pyromancer. Yeah, like I said, we do generate tokens in this deck. Not a lot, but enough. So this is that special spell book, Young Pyromancer. Which is not bad. Not bad. I like this version. That's pretty cool. This would be a good time to tell you why I even own a deck like this in general. Well, first of all, it's in foil because I'm a foil person. I am Delver of Brews, and part of Delver of Brews is foils. I just love foils. Always have, always will. But another reason why I do this is because it's basically one of the promises that I make on this channel. When I deck tech a deck, in particular in Modern, I am going to own the cards in real life because I want to make it known that I am not just deck teching a deck for the sake of it, just so I have content to fill up a slot, you know, every week, so I can have something else to share with you and get more views and clicks. So there is you know, I actually invest in the deck before I share it with you. It's kind of a promise that I make. By the way, the foiling on this is pretty crazy. Ikoria foiling was actually pretty cool. I didn't mind it actually at all. And the Ikoria art in general across most of the cards was interesting, I guess, to say the least. And that's a positive interesting. So yeah, that's why I own all these cards, where I really don't have to, technically. I could just own the one main deck that I always play, which is Temur Delver and Modern, and that's it. But no, I go the extra mile for this channel, just to show you that, you know, if I'm deck tech, any deck tech in Modern that I have on this channel, I own every single card in real life and in foil. This Serum Visions, I mean, the art, I love the art of the Serum Visions. I really, really do. Is why I got this version. Even though for nostalgic reasons, I prefer the original art for Serum Visions. The one thing I was disappointed about is that although you don't see it on camera it probably looks as spectacular as you think it does. In real life, it's just a bit too dull. It's a bit too dull for a card like this, where it's like, you know, it's crystals and it's supposed to be, you know, snazzy and shiny and all that. I was very disappointed with the foiling of the Serum Visions. Just maybe it was the batch that I got was a bit more faded than others. I think it's just a telling sign of the times of the types of foils we expect now from Wizards of the Coast. But nonetheless, I still prefer this Serum Vision's art, which is why I have it. Up next, Lightning Bolt. Oh, you all know I love this Lightning Bolt. When I get to 2,000 subs, I'll probably give, and people have already asked to see my office / recording area / geek cave. Maybe when I get to 2,000 subs I'll do it, or maybe 5,000, aim high. But I have an artwork of this particular lightning bolt hung up on my wall, signed by the artist. I had met her at a GP here in Montreal, and she is a local. So yeah, and it's not why I like this art, it just happens to be all coinciding together. But of all the lightning bolts that have been printed, even the more recent ones with the secret drops, secret layer drops, I prefer this lightning bolt the most. It's just awesome. We are playing 2 Spell Pierce. At least I was the last time I played this deck. And I decided to go with the Invocations. I'm so torn on the Invocations because most of them I feel are misses in terms of looks. But this one is actually not bad. It's a nice blue and red mix. Blue and red foiling in general mixes pretty well. So this was a pick that I decided to take. Or else I probably would have gone with maybe the original foiling, the original art. But I really did like this version of Spell Pierce, even though you can't read a word of it. At least the name. It's fine. Last but not least, in terms of non-lands, Force of Negation. You know what? We can't have Force of Will. I'm perfectly happy with having Force of Negation. I also have this artwork on my wall. I saw it was available and I got it. You know, it's funny, I don't consider myself a blue mage technically. You know, like playing a committed control deck, it doesn't seem super interesting to me. But this, despite all that, I still like counterspells. The foiling on this is fantastic, by the way. I think most of Modern Horizons foiling was fantastic. Very nice foiling. Again, just like the Spell Pierce, blue and red mixing together makes for very good foiling. Very good foiling effect, I should say. Because of that really crappy foiling, it's up to Wizards of the Coast and the printers. Alright. So, last but not least, the lands. Let's get with the basics. So, 2 islands and a forest. Of the full art lands, which now there are so many choices you can have, I really just like the original Judge promos. In particular the island, but because I like the island and I need to have matching lands, of course, I go with everything else. Although the forest one is just meh. It's just a forest. I get it. The real Judge promo full arts that I enjoy are the islands. Beautiful island. The best foiling of the 5, even though I'm pretty sure it's all the same foiling, it just looks better here. Very, very nice. You actually have a subject in the art that you cannot foil selectively, and it works out very well. Very, very well. So, very happy about that. There you go. And now we have all the original expedition lands coming up. They've been hiding in the right-hand side here, but here they are. Misty Rainforest. One of my favorite expedition arts. Did I say favorite expedition arts? Favorite expedition art. Very nice foiling. It's not curling. Should probably make a note of that. Shows that at one time they could have special foiling processes that didn't result in curling. Severe curling. Up next, well, we have a bunch of 2-ofs for the rest of the fetches. Oh, well, yeah, 4 plus Wooded Foothills, I should say. So let's start off with Wooded Foothills here. One of my least favorite art from the original expeditions. I feel like some of the art direction for this was just bad because this artist is a good artist, so I blame Wizards for that. But it's an expedition, and once you have one expedition, you gotta have them all in expedition, or else it just looks weird. So it's kind of a curse. Scalding Tarn, another one where whatever you say, it's not my thing, but it looks nice overall. Just doesn't look like a Scalding Tarn to me. But you need a full playset for this deck. There you go. And then we have the dual lands. Well, I guess I shouldn't say dual land because they're not technically dual lands. Oh, they produce two colors though. We have one Spire, Bluff, Canal. Another good example of a good foil. Strong foil, no curling at all, nothing to worry about here. Look at that, straight. And just a decent foil. Why can't we have foiling like this? I don't understand. I don't understand why we're going in the opposite direction in terms of quality. Very frustrating. And then we have two steam vents. One of the nicer artwork from the expeditions. I guess I get it. There are vents and there's steam coming out of it. I guess that's pretty much on theme. It's kind of on the nose, but that's okay. Two steam vents. And then we got a 1-up Stomping Ground and a 1-up Breeding Pool. Very common mana base that I use when I'm playing Temur. Stomping Ground. Very random. Whatever, start a rock stomping on the ground. Is that the idea here? I guess it is kind of hard to, you know, draw something that's a stomping ground. I get it. Last but not least, Breeding Pool. You'd think there'd be more breeding going on, but I guess they have to keep this PG. But that looks cool. It's fine. I see signs of life. I get it. You have flowers growing. Usually I have a better zoom here, but since I want to show everything one shot, the zoom is not high, so you see some shadow. That annoys me, but it's okay. So that was it for this foiled deck video, part of the foiled series. Let me know what you think. I'll post a link to the deck tech, like I said, so you can take a look at that deck tech and see what the deck was like and watch some matches that I posted up last summer in 2020. And yeah, at some point I'll probably revisit this deck and try and make it work a bit better, maybe with new cards that have been printed in sets since. Let me know what you think. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you enjoy my content in general, please subscribe, hit the notification bell, follow me on Twitter, Facebook, whatever you prefer. Ideally both, you know, to kind of help me out. Plus you know, stay up to date with everything that I'm doing. I do giveaways often. You know, I've given away so far up to, what was that, $4,200 worth of Magic cards to 11 total lucky winners. And there's another giveaway on the way. So yeah, check that out. Subscribe and follow me on Twitter to be eligible for those giveaways. If you're interested in supporting this channel a bit more, you can become a patron and join the ever-growing Patreon community, which, you know, has been very supportive of me so far and giving me great ideas. Check out the link in the description for that. The tiers are set up pretty well, you know, and I give back to my patrons just like I can give back to the rest of the Magic community by doing all the giveaways. So check out the tiers. I think they're relatively generous. I give back some of your money in the form of Magic cards at the end of every year. Thanks, and have a good one.